this is Harris Feldman. You're about to find out how short I am, because Alex is not actually that tall. And in this view, I notice he looks like a ton taller than me in our replay. Anyway, Harris Feldman with failyourway.com, with Alex Jeffreys from marketingwithyou.com, and also you can follow him on Twitter at Alex_Jeffreys, which is Jeffreys. We just tried to shoot this video over in my nice seated bench area. Yes. And it was a miserable failure.
It was a failure.
But from that failure, basically what happened was his child saw him, and my daughter came out, and she wants to do video. But what came from that was I just kind of kidded around, threw the video on, and said, McKenna, what is failure? She didn't know what the word meant. My 4-year-old doesn't know what it meant, so I had to explain it to her in a positive way so that she didn't think failure was a bad thing. I explained it to her as that failure is when you try to do something and it doesn't work, and that's how you learn. So that just happened. You heard it here first. But what we want to talk about actually is maybe getting this video done this time.
Yeah, because we're hiding actually behind the wall now, so the kids can't see us, so we don't have another failure of a video.
That's right. So maybe we'll get this one right.
Yeah.
So Alex, just a real quick little history of us is I met Alex about 3 years ago at a Mike Filsaime event. Do you remember the name?
Tim. The Internet Marketing Main Event 2.
The Internet Marketing Main Event 2. Oh, Timmy. I was like, why are you saying? Yeah. Why are you talking about my copywriter, Timmy? Timme.
Yeah.
Right. I remember that Alex had a successful, a pretty successful eBay business going, and he was bridging over into more the internet marketing side, and he was at that point just about to do his first launch. And honestly, I felt like you were looking for a little bit of confidence.
Yeah.
And you were one of the people I actually wrote about that weekend, saying, you know, I see some people that got it, that changed just over the weekend, and I know they're going to be successful. And Alex is exactly who I was writing about at the time, and I was right. You became pretty successful. Alex has a six figure in the U.S. or in the U.K.
Yep, multiple six-figure both. So
either way. So 6-figure in the U.K. Alex is from Wales. You'll see hear his accent in a second. You'll see it too, if there's a teleprompter, but probably not. But anyway, what I want to do right now is I want to talk about failing. I want to talk about I want you to talk to them about your biggest failure. Biggest failure.
So we were saying this, my biggest failure, as I see in business, so it's not in life, I suppose, business is life, but my biggest failure in business is when I first met Harris. I was going to these events
His biggest failure was when he first met Harris. So, oh no, that's not what you meant.
When we go into these events, I was looking to build relationships with joint venture partners, and trying to do this 6 and 7, as Jeff Walker calls it, the product launch formula guy. Make 6 figures in 7 days. $100,000 in 7 days. That's what I was going for. And when I did my first launch, we did $27,000 in a week. Now, to me, that's a lot of money, okay? But
in a week.
Yeah, in a week. But that was a failure to me because I was really striving for that $100,000. So, that was my biggest failure in business, to be quite honest with you, $27,000 in a week. But, that was a failure. But of course, that's had such a knock-on effect that it's really been, a tremendous success that's going to build, a $1 million business this year. So,
Well, didn't you also say you had another launch after that? Did you do what you wanted?
Yeah. So so the second launch. Okay. So what happens normally? You do a launch. It's meant to do good. Then the next launch is meant to do better and better. Okay. So my first launch, 27,000. Second launch, come on, it's got to do the 6 figures. Second launch, $18,000. It was less, but okay. To people that might have looked a failure, but to me, I'd actually built a mailing list from it, which was about 6,000 people. A mailing list, which was very successful to me, because previous to that, my mailing list was only 2,000 people. So now I built a $6,000...
In addition to the 2,000,
yeah,
6,000 person.
Yeah, so I now had an 8,000 mailing list, which I could email at any time and generate, multiple thousands on a weekly basis, And again, it wasn't doing, multiple thousands. Sometimes, 1,000, 2,000, some weeks 200, But I was learning and growing. So this is kind of the failure, was the 18,000. But the success was the list,
$18,000 versus 6,000 list, that you were able to monetize.
Which has brought in, most probably 200. I would say, $150,000 to $200,000 to date.
Yeah, over a year.
Over 2 years.
Over 2 years.
Over 2 years. Yeah.
And then your next launch was 6 figures.
No, my next launch was $10,000.
So you were going down. You're downward trend on the actual dollars.
Yeah. But again, you know, it looks a failure, you know, and again, I was striving for a lot more money. There was lots of failures, you know, there was lots of, you know, copywriting failures, there was lots of technical issues. It was hell, to be honest with you. You can see failure after failure, and most people would just quit, you know, they say, I've quit. But we got through that launch, and again, we added another, I think it was like 5,000, 6,000 people to the list, you know, something like that. But again, that generated, you know, that extra thousands of dollars on a monthly basis. That, you know, took me to 5 figures a month, actually, you know. So we were actually generating, you know,
a six-figure a year income.
Yeah, a six-figure a year income. So, you know, that's pretty successful from all these failures, you know, I would say.
Sure. Do you, one question I'm asking everybody, do you,
But,
yeah, go ahead.
Can I say something though? Because from that list though, you know, you've got to remember, you know, if you look at something to failure, you know, there's always a positive to a negative, you know. If you read my book, actually the first...
You can say that, you can tell them where to get the book.
Yeah, it's a free book. It's called postlaunchprofits.com. If you go there, you read that book. It's all about, you know, it's all about my whole year from me. I actually speak, if you look at my book, I actually speak about Harris in the credits at the beginning of my book. I actually thank him for, you know, but actually, you know, but it's truth. You know, I wrote this book December 2007. 2006, 2007. So, you know, we're looking at, you know, we're in 2009 now. So this is a couple of years ago. Read that book. All that book talks about is my failures, and how I overcome those failures and got the positive out of the negative. So go and read that, postlaunchprofits.com.
Okay, and then, did you want to add anything else before I
Yeah, I was going to add one more thing. So out of all those failures, I built the list. Remember, I built this asset, okay? And I've just done a recent launch, which was pretty cool, you know. We did $350,000 in a week.
So over 300,000.
Just short of a third of a million. It was $332,500.
Oh no! You beat me. My site sealer launch was 328.
Wow.
Yeah, way to go. Yeah, you beat it by 4K.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good, you know. And of course, I've always looked up to Harris. So yes.
Until he found out how short I was.
Yeah, no, I'm looking down on him. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so the other question I want to know is, do you view failure differently? Do you think you view failure differently than other people?
Yeah, absolutely. It depends who the different people are.
Sure.
But
obviously, we're surrounded by people that probably view it similarly to us. But I mean, your friends back home.
yeah, absolutely. I view failure as a must. You have to fail. I see, you know, success is surrounded by failure. This, you know, that success is like 1%, failure is mostly 99%, you know, mostly even higher. But the thing is that successful people will tell you they failed and failed and failed and failed and failed. And success, how do I want to say this? But you have to fail to be successful, basically. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. You know, it's most definitely the thing that.
I say it's part of the process.
Yeah, yeah. Like you just told McKenna, you know, he's telling his daughter that to do a good drawing, you have to do a couple of bad drawings and throw them away and actually get that good drawing, you know. That's how he's teaching her this failing process just now. And it was, you know, it's the truth, you know, teaching a 4-year-old daughter that failure is the same as teaching a person how to build $1 million business. You have to fail, you have to learn and take that process, so most definitely.
Right. Okay, well, next what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you for a money-making secret, a free traffic secret, how you would start from scratch if you had to, and another question along those lines. But that's not going to be on the free side. That's going to be for members only. So anybody that is a member of failyourway.com is going to get the good stuff.
Okay, be ready for this then. Okay.
All right.
Let's get into this.
So this has been Harris Fellman from failyourway.com and Alex Jeffries again with marketingwithyou.com, and you can follow him on Twitter at Alex_Jeffries, Jeffreys. Flash that up there, video editor. All right, thanks a lot.